Give it a second. Oh. Hmm. All right, so we are live. Got some people coming in. Sending an invite to. How are you, Tanya? You doing all right? Hello.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I just had to unmute myself.
Yeah, and I did. I'm turning up the volume on my phone right now. I am definitely on my game today. No, so I'm trying something new, and I'll let you know, Tanya, since you're the first one here. Is TikTok has said that I should be, uh,
Hi, Andrew.
start a store with them. Hey, Andrew, and so I got a free sample of a pen. So I guess I ought to show that since uh, it's literally saying that they're sponsoring the live. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Woo-hoo!
well, no, that's just because I added their product to my store and I have it. But if you want to, there's Saren. I'll invite her. But yeah, like down at the little bottom now, there's a little shop thing and there's a little deal. So if you want to,
I'm,
the pen's actually nice. And Multitask is the name of the company, and they're owned by women, and they have a strong women's empowerment message. They may not want me to be the person who's pushing their product, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because
Hi,
we're
Sharon.
writers and we all need pens.
Yes.
Saren, how
And
are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and let everyone know I was going to be here. Saren is one of four authors. We have four authors, and one of our authors is also a narrator and another artist. So we're gonna talk to him and see how he does everything that he does. But Sarah, you write dystopian shifter romances. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. I do.
All right, and then other romance authors, we have Kyla Orenick is going to be joining us. She writes MC romances, and she promised shenanigans tonight, so she ought to make things fun. And then we have a sci-fi author, Derek Bourne, is going to be with us. He loves dinosaurs. I also like dinosaurs, so we'll have plenty to talk about. And then Rod R. Garcia is our author slash narrator. So that's going to be fun. But that's the show. TikTok, book talk on book talk. I think technically, I moved my clock. I think technically we have a few minutes before we totally get started. So, and it looks like Tanya dropped out, so I'll get her back on. But yeah, I'm just glad that spring is here. I do not like winter very much. I don't mind the cold, but I just there's something about spring that I just really really love. So thank you for the likes, Mr. Brooks. I guess I can mention that too. The more likes we get, and gifts and all that stuff, the more exposure this live broadcast gets, and the more people get down in the comments. Tanya's always monitoring that. She's our executive producer, and that makes for a fun and lively show. So yeah, like we'll let some more people get here because we still got a few more minutes. Um, so Sarah, one thing we can start off talking to you about. It seems like this is the first time I've been an author who writes dystopian shifter. Usually, it's urban fantasy and shifters that kind of exist sort of in our world or in a complete fantasy world. So, how did you get to a dystopian shifter mashup?
I wanted something a little different. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's no new ideas, just newly written stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've always liked shifter paranormal romance, and I thought I had a what if. Okay, what if my shifters were created,
Mm-hmm.
not born them?
Oh, okay.
What if society found out about this? What if the uproar caused a nuclear war? And now, boom, we're 25 years later, and what's happened?
Oh, that is cool. No, and that's what's great about being an independent author, an independent creator is you get to combine things that aren't always combined, and that if the bigger publishers maybe don't have a specific marketing lane where they can put that in. But that sounds so fun, and a lot of stuff right up my alley with some of the stuff that I write, crime fiction, but also a little bit of speculative stuff in there. So, so love it, and thank you for all the roses. Everybody who's been gifting. That's we all appreciate that. As I just said, independent creators will take all of the support that we can. I haven't seen any of our other
I'm
folks hop
reading
in.
them up.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, lots of love out to Brooke and Kate and all of them that are in here already that are sending out gifts and love.
Yeah, we got a high number now. I'll say this, and I'll go ahead and there's Kyla. Say it again. I'm because I am a TikTok influencer. God help us all. And they talked me into setting up a shop. So this live, I have a product, a pen from great company, really, so far as I know, called Multitasky. And I think that TikTok is like, ooh, somebody's using our TikTok store thing. I'm going to push the shit out of their content. So I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, because the video I posted with the pen is one of the highest one I've ever gotten. So hopefully we have a whole lot of new people in here who are experiencing the show for the first time, because TikTok has decided they want to push the live. So that would be great. And how are you this evening, Kyla? Thank you so much for joining us.
I am amazing. Thank you, Rick, for having me.
Oh yeah. And in one of your videos, you promised shenanigans today, so I'm looking forward to seeing. What all you can do for us.
Shenanigans are always guaranteed when I'm in the room. That's just the way it is. That's how it works.
No, and we love it, as long as we don't get TikTok every once in a while. They say your comments are being filtered or whatever. So as long as we don't, but that usually only happens when we have really attractive men in the form of book cover models and stuff that are on the show. That's usually when it happens. But other than that, we're generally okay talking about all of our romance tropes and all of that stuff. Speaking of, you write MC romances, is that right?
Yes. Romantic suspense, actually.
Nice.
I like to throw that suspense in because it really does make me feel better about myself. I don't understand why. It might be because I started life really loving mystery. So that suspense is an important element of all of my work. So but the romance is hot, but the suspense is great.
well, and that's good. That's that is right up my alley. I write crime fiction, and I began reading a little more romantic suspense, because a lot of the crime fiction authors that I have known over the past several years have started writing and self-publishing in that arena, because it gets a lot of the best of what people love about romance and draws in that readership. But if you can write suspenseful fiction, you can apply that to any other genre. I found, as I tried to dabble more into that stuff for me. So yeah, I love it, and romantic suspense is definitely something I'm interested in. And so we have the two authors. We're going to have Derek Bourne joining us. He writes science fiction and is into dinosaurs. And then we have an author / narrator, Rod R. Garcia, and that's going to be fun to pick his brain about how he does both. And I want to know, does he always narrate his own stuff? Does he prefer somebody else to do it? When you talk about author voice, which one is he talking about? So all sorts of fun stuff that we can go over. But since it is 7 o'clock, I'll go ahead and let everyone know this is Book Talk on BookTalk. We are here to talk about books and everything that goes along with it. Narration, covers, the fact that, I love the hearts, running a small business, and just creativity in general. Storytelling. I'm likely to bring up some stuff about writing for the screen, since that's what I've been focused on lately. So all kinds of topics. Thank you for everyone who's joining us maybe for the first time. And yes, we love anytime you can send us gifts like JC's doing, because she is an awesome person.
Yes,
We're independent creators. We love that. The more likes, if you want to hit that like button, that gives us more exposure, gets more people out there watching, more people in the comments for Tanya to wrangle, and great questions come of that. Makes it for very lively for the audience, in addition to us here on the panel. And yeah, so that's the show. So welcome. We will get Rod and Derek whenever they join us. But in the meantime, what I like about today's panel is that we have a pretty good variety. But since we have the two romance writers on here, two different kinds of romance, and yet they're both under the same genre, which is excellent. That's one thing that I think BookTalk, specifically has helped people find the area that they want to write in. Is that true for either one of you? Did BookTalk and did this community help at all develop what you wanted to write, or help maybe with the plot line of a book that you wrote or anything like that?
Sarah, and you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first. I'll be honest with you, Rick. I didn't even know you could be an independent author until I found BookTok.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so the term TikTok made me do it is true with me. I found it, I did the research, and I went, oh, so I can do this myself. Here you go.
Nice.
So,
oh, that's wonderful. That is, that is truly awesome. So, tell us a little bit about how you went from joining TikTok to deciding that you wanted to self-publish your own books.
Well, I've always been an avid reader. And so then I started creating my own stories, and then I'm going to be 53 next month. I'm an older girl. Okay, so when I heard the kids were all on about, this tiki-talkie, okay, so as we originally called it, and so I downloaded the app and I started just scrolling through, and I, got more and more. I found BookTok, and the more TikToks I saw, and I was like, these people are doing it themselves. And then I'd look up, editors and, publishing, and it just things about how to things. And eventually I just did the research, and I was like, okay. So I started with a short story, and I went through Amazon, and I thought, okay, this is my trial and error, baby. And then I picked 4 pen names because I didn't know, registered with the Canadian government, and said, okay, there you go. I have 4 aliases now. So, because I'm right. And so then I published Sarah's Rising. That was my first book, which is a healing journey. And it did well. And I went, okay, I might actually be onto something here. So, I can string a sentence together. So then the next thing you know, I did Hermione Tried. And now I have Hermione Tested, which is out Saturday.
Oh, all right. We love it whenever people on here have something that's about to drop and they can really promote that. That's a big part of the show. So that's excellent. So it's going to be your 3rd book overall and your 2nd in that series? Yes, correct.
And I'm actually writing the 3rd and final book of the series, which will be Hermione True. So it's been I only started this May of last year.
That's I love hearing that story, and you're one of the first people I met who you referenced that TikTok made me do it, but I mean you completely went from I might want to be an author. What's that about? To having published books and success, in a year, strictly from learning how to do it on BookTok. That's great. I'm gonna be telling other people that story. Like, I met someone who this is how their journey went, and that's so cool. I love it.
This is why this is so near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. We need to start making promotional videos for the show with you. Like, see, if you on BookTok can just you can go from nothing to a published author using BookTok. And so Kyla, what about you? What's your interaction been with BookTok and getting published?
So I too have been an avid reader my whole life, and I started making friends with authors that I was reading here on BookTok, right? And I was invited to a signing, and my origin story is a little wild. I have wanted to write my whole life, but I never had the courage or thought that my stories were good enough. And I went to this signing, and it was high octane. It's an author and reader experience. It's not like any signing you've ever been to, and we all sat at the couches out on the patio of this hotel, and everyone was talking, and I was telling stories, and they were laughing. And the next thing I know, I'm threatened upon pain of my flesh if I didn't write books.
Oh.
They told me, you need to write stories. You are funny. These are great stories. You have a great voice. And if you won't do it by yourself, we'll help you. I had 3 authors offer to help with it, and co-author or write it and let me dictate it, and they'd write it and put my name on it. That was how fantastic they were with me. I mean, it was just so enlightening and a very, very secure kind of feeling, because we were all on the same playing field. You know, we were level there. We were not we were together, and it was just wonderful. And so I came home, the 7.5 hour drive back from the Tampa area, and I'm talking it over with my husband, and I got back, and April Berry and Kate Prada and Dawn Dougal, and these are people that I knew from BookTok, said, hey, we started a romance riot Discord. You should come join it. And I caught them the day they started it on their live, and I went and joined it. And there's a community, right, of authors and readers there. And so you got lots of feedback, and I kind of dipped in fact, this week is my 1-year write-anniversary, if you will, of when I started writing my first book. So, and it just, you start writing the first time ever in your life at the age of 51, and you think to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm never going to get a full-length novel out of this, and 77,000 words later, and I'm hitting the button and publishing. So
Love it.
It was
I have
great.
to interrupt really quickly. Derek is trying to get into the live, and he cannot get in. Can you send him an invite, please?
I may be able to send him an invite if he can't actually get in here. No, actually, that doesn't look like that's something I'm able to do. If he, so if he goes to, like, my profile just on TikTok,
Okay.
there should be like a ring around my name if he goes to one of my videos, or a ring around my face, and if he clicks that should take him to my live.
Okay, I will run over and try and grab him then real quick.
Okay, yeah. Technology, we it works for us some days, it doesn't work for us other days, but we always manage. Well, one thing that I also like to talking about some of the authors on here is people. Oh, no. People talk about TikTok as being this young kids thing all the time, and it gets a bad rap because of that. But most of the people I've met on here, on the BookTok side of stuff, especially, are in our 30s and up, and so it's like I wish I could kind of dispel that bad name that TikTok gets sometimes, because it's definitely something that a lot of people fully grown adults are using and doing very good things with, as you two are. So I absolutely love hearing those stories, and definitely in terms of writers, like there is no such thing as getting a late start. Like it's most of the authors I know didn't start writing a word until they were in their 40s and 50s. I actually, at 37, tend to be, when I go to writers' conventions, one of the youngest published authors there. So thank you for sharing your stories, you two. I really, really appreciate that. That's one of the things we really like to do. And I sure hope so you two didn't have any problem finding my live or any of that stuff. Okay, very good. I wanted to make sure because, like I said, because it's I'm technically like sponsored now or whatever. It's like I want to make sure that it's not any kind of like filter gatekeeping going on there because it shouldn't be. But let's see, JC, she's 46. Hey, there's Derek. All right, so let me see if I can invite him. All right, there we go. We are inviting Derek. Very good, very good, very good. All right, so he should be joining us.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. How are you, sir?
I'm my day's been all screwed up, so sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I was just glad because I'm doing something new. Just this time, I TikTok is really up in their game on like sponsorships and trying to pay us
Right.
creators and all that stuff. So so I thought, well, I'm never gonna see what it's like if I don't just try it. So I decided to do that, and I wanted to make sure, but it doesn't seem like that was any kind of issue. So all good stuff. And I guess I should go ahead and mention there's a little shop thing down at the bottom. You can get the pen from the company that I have in my shop. If that's something you're interested in, just for everyone down there, basically I get like a 10% commission or whatever. So you get a pen, you get to tip me, and that's the way that works. But quite enough of that, Derek. I would like to know when or do you remember what it is that sparked your love of dinosaurs? Because I too, not to a huge extent, but I also like our dino friends.
Honestly, ever since I was a kid, and like, how many people had their love grow as soon as they saw Jurassic Park?
I mean, yeah.
Right, right. Before that, though, it was more so Dinotopia, that series. There's so many books in that series for young adults, and I absolutely love that series. My favorite one was the one where the kid actually got to ride a saber tooth up and down the mountain to try to actually get to where the problem was. And yeah, I just, ever since then, and when I started writing and then kind of got into my superhero spy series, introduced time travel in that one. That's what led me into writing Dino Rift and Sora Core Salvation. And a couple of teenagers get trapped in dinosaur times, and it's so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome. And see, I even remember watching when I was a little kid that show Land of the Lost.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was a fun one, and that's what that reminds me of. What
Yeah.
you were
And
your
Terra
stories,
Nova.
what you were talking about. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terra Nova.
The new one, which needed to keep going and not get canceled.
Yeah, no joke. And so, I did this with our other authors. Take us through your journey, and specifically, if being on TikTok or BookTok helped you out, either finding what you wanted to write about or figuring out how to publish your books or any of that stuff.
Journey, like, from like what actually got me writing in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was a preteen, I was bullied a lot in school. I would come home and writing was just my escape. I actually ended up writing my own superhero spy series, and then by 2017 was when I decided, you know what, I want to try to publish to Amazon, see how that goes. Whoever reads it, great. Whoever doesn't, whatever. So I've always tried to keep it more as a hobby in my mind. I know sometimes the marketing can be overwhelming, anyways. But I enjoy just writing a story and getting lost in the worlds and the characters. The trilogy of superhero books ended up turning into 10 books, actually, in all.
Oh wow.
7 of them are novellas, and the one book in the series, which is the 4 paperbacks, one of them is actually the 6 novellas in one. And that's where my superhero spies, and the Ultimate Agent is the name of the series. They come across Bigfoot, Mothman, the Loch Ness Monster. I've got the Michigan Dogman, which was a co-write with my editor, which was tons of fun. I did a Kraken, because why not? And a genetically modified Minotaur rather than mythological, because I wanted to see how can I incorporate these things through genetics. And I love it. It was so much fun. And it all kind of culminates into the big finale book at the end. Some of the maybe Bigfoots come back and all that fun stuff for the big battle. But because of Loch Ness Files, that's kind of what got me able to go into the dinosaur corner of my universe through time rifts. Because some people still think maybe Loch Ness Monster is a dinosaur. Who knows? So, Dino Rift has been, honestly, since I joined TikTok back in 2021, my best-selling book.
Nice.
Especially through paperbacks. I found my paperbacks before TikTok were just kind of, and then TikTok went
Nice.
way up here, and it's just been tons of fun.
Awesome. And it sounds like, Derek, it sounds like you and Saren might have a lot to talk about. She was over there like smiling and nodding when you were talking about some of your stuff. Because I don't know, I don't think you were here whenever she was describing it, but Saren, go ahead and talk about how your twist on sort of the monster genre that you have.
Yeah. So I write paranormal romance shifters.
Right.
But my shifters were created. They weren't born that way. They were created in a lab.
Not like a curse.
No, they were created in a lab.
Okay.
And so so you really hit my geek button when you said that. I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Even so, there's the first book, and then the Helios Files, which is the 6 novellas, and then Ultimate Agent 2 picks up where that leaves off. And there's a scientist that comes on, and he always says that he likes to splice things together. Now he goes, now what do you think? What comes to mind when you think of a tiger shark? Everyone goes, the usual tiger shark, right? He goes, no, I'm talking like splice a tiger with a shark. And I love that kind of stuff. Like there's other creatures that the superheroes come across. Like there's an octopus basically spliced with a crocodile. So they got the crocodile head with the octopus body. Like that would be terrifying.
Yeah. That's what I
in real life, really, it would be.
So you could write that in a romance. I'm just saying. Okay.
The main character of Tiger Shark ends up. So first, the Tiger Shark is created with the tiger and shark, and then the scientist is also trying to figure out how can I combine a human with that through their brain. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of a brain swap there. So then the character Spencer Raymond ends up becoming the tiger shark. And as the story goes on, you're kind of figuring out, okay, can he actually shift into that beast and go back and forth between human and that? And that was a lot of fun too. Kind of like my own version of the Hulk. Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an imagination right there. Like sometimes whenever I hear people talking about that, I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. And I'm like, my brain just doesn't work that way. My brain just wants to take the real world we live in and figure out how terrible shit can get for people and fill it with morally ambiguous characters that you want to root for, but also know that they have some flaws. Like that's what my brain does. But like whenever I hear people talk about stuff like that, I absolutely appreciate somebody who that's just how they. That's the lens through which they see the world, which is super fun. Now, I take it that your science fiction books don't have a lot of spice like our other authors that we have here today.
No, it's usually fade to black.
Yeah.
There's a line even in Ultimate Agent 3 where a character comes back and the two main characters of the Ultimate Agent series kind of have like a little bromance, like they're just best buds, like brothers, and they'll do anything for each other. And then the one comes back and his wife is there and she's like, well, I kind of need to take him for a few minutes. And that's about as spicy as it usually gets.
Gotcha. Mama Hen down in the comments, Derek wants to know, since you have so many books out, if where would you recommend someone start if they want to start reading your books?
If you want to start, I would start with the first Ultimate Agent book, though I do have UA Origins, but that's kind of a tricky thing because it's better if you read that once you've read the entire series. Because what happened was when I originally wrote all these books, I was a teenager. And in the third book, I had all these flashbacks. And then I felt later in life as I was publishing these to Amazon, what if I just took all those flashbacks out of the finale and make it its own little novella? And I find you get more appreciation for the characters once you've already read their main story and then go to that, and then you go, oh, okay, so that adds a little bit more to the meaning of a few things.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, you can read Dino Rift if you want to, even though it does fit into the same universe. Because I've had readers that have read Dino Rift and Soracore. I put little subtle hints to things that have happened in the past superhero books. So if people read it and then go, well, what does he mean by that? And then they go and say, oh, well, he's got other books.
See, I like his Ultimate Agent books better. I like starting out with them, and that is where Damien has been glued to most of the time. That's my grandson, and he
Awesome.
he gets done with one and he's begging for another one. So keep writing them because I have to buy them. So
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Tanya's real good about knowing what people should write next. She started finally bugging me about a sequel to one of my books. I was wondering when she was going to get around to it, but it's finally starting to happen. So speaking of my books, which have suspense in them, Kyla, I wanted to ask you: did you start out wanting to write more romance or more suspense? And whenever you finally got around to merging those two subgenres, which is something a lot of people are doing now. But which one came first for you, the suspense or the romance?
So for me, Rick, that would be kind of like saying which part of you as a woman is the most prominent. Because for me, it was sort of, I wanted to incorporate elements of things I had experienced and share those, right? So I tried to, my husband was a firefighter and we were in a MC. So I had tons of inspiration there. And people are characters. If you're just quiet enough and people watch long enough, you can discover some amazing things that you really, some of them you didn't want to know. And some of them you're like, wow, that is so incredible. For me, I have a weird way. My process is very strange. Well, I say it's strange because to me it's kind of like I have several voices in my head talking to me and then playing a movie, which is a little odd. I think the movie part, I don't think everybody sees that. So scenes will play out for me, and I just follow what the scenes, how they play, right, and what the characters are telling me they want. And if I fight that, boy, do I get writer's block. But yeah, I wouldn't say one came first before the other. I think they just sort of, the story just flowed, and however where the river flowed, I just drifted and wrote the words and dictated what the characters said that they wanted. And like I said, when I tried to assert my authority over my characters, they were very, very quiet for weeks. So I realized then that I needed to stop trying to tell the characters the story and let the characters tell me the story. So the suspenseful aspects of it, there are several. There's in each book, each romantic couple has some suspense involved within their relationships, external forces that cause some suspense there. But there is an overall plot line that runs through all the series that will culminate in book 6, and that is the big baddie and them, dealing with an arsonist and all of the things that they have to, the things that they're discovering and all the characters and their involvement, and it's just it's part of the package.
Very nice. And I actually experience the writing process a lot the same way that you do. I see things, I see the scenes visually in my head, and I'm kind of like a little stenographer, just kind of regurgitating what they're telling me. And yeah, they definitely do what they want, and that's why most of them are not traditional heroes, because I was a reporter for a long time, and let's just say that I wrote some stories about incredible people, but more often than not, I wrote them about the underbelly of what's going on in the world. So it's one of those where that's what informs your writing. And like you said, that you people watch, and I people watch, and I absorbed all the different things that I reported on, and that kind of just gets filtered through the artist's lens that we have. What about Saren and Derek? What's your writing process like? That sort of internal. Do you see like the movie playing out in your head, or do you do like a Pinterest board? Like how do you get that creative juices going and then translate that to the page?
Go ahead, Sarah.
I definitely have a movie that plays out. We have a joke with the Hype Girls. My girls sending all the love here in the comments. Some like Kyla, my characters will take on a mind of their own, and the running joke is it took me 2 weeks to get to a diner.
I like
There
that.
were side quests for days. Okay, but yeah, no. Usually it runs like a movie, and I try to get it out as fast as I can. Sometimes I'll block it if I have to, but yeah, it took me 2 weeks to get to a diner because they have a mind of their own and they do shenanigans and I can't control them. That's like cats, and and I go to my girls and I'm like, hell, exactly. It took 83 years. That's what it felt like. But my girls have been really supportive and they get me through it, and that's all. That's it. That's all I've
They
got.
made it to the diner finally. I see the comment.
Yeah.
They did make it to the diner.
Very nice, very nice. And so, Derek, how about you? Because you have so many, a lot of really big visual things going on. What's that like in your head versus getting it actually down onto the page?
It's definitely, again, like a movie. I am a pantser through and through, though, when I write. I mean, plot, what is that? But no, it's even when it comes down to writing the choreography for battle scenes for the superhero spy series. The final battle, I had over a dozen characters I had to keep track of in my head. Actually, at that point, I actually had to take out a piece of paper, write out each character was, how they were going to interact with each other as the battle's going on. And you know how, like, when you watch the Avengers, there's those kind of one shot where you see everybody and it doesn't cut away from the angle at all for like a minute or two? I liked writing scenes like that too. Like, as much as people don't like when it jumps point of view, sometimes you want to give them that spectacle, right?
Yeah.
Of this is happening here, but as they're doing that, this person shows up and is like running across something to get to help another character, sort of thing. And I found I kind of did the same with the finale of Dino Rift. There's rifts popping off all over the place because time-space continuum's kind of getting awry, and then there's also Soracor trying to take down a couple of Giganotosauruses, which is bigger than a T-Rex, and the kids are trying to find their way back home still, and it's just I love getting into all that. I have had many readers say, "Why are these not movies yet?" So
Well, and like writing a scene like that, in prose is difficult. Like I've read books where they try to do that, write big sort of wide angle scenes, and it's tough because most people, prose lends itself to a little bit like stage plays, a
yeah,
couple of characters interacting with each other and very close and intimate like that, and then you talk about a big battle scene where you have a bunch of little other sort of battles and fights going on. That's hard to do, and wanting to write something like that is an undertaking. So congratulations on even attempting that, and obviously doing a good job at it because you're here and you're doing well and you're successful.
I
So
was
yeah,
just
for
thinking.
me,
Do you know how funny it would be to actually read someone writing a book about Avengers Endgame?
yeah,
Like, Cap standing there, all of a sudden, Falcon shows up, Doctor Strange shows up, Wong shows up, like everybody,
yeah.
just in like one
You know,
big paragraph.
you can find the movie scripts, the screenplays, a
Right,
lot of
yeah.
times online. But I've never looked for Marvel ones because
A
not that
novelization.
that yeah, and not that there's nothing to learn from that, but yeah, I think that because it is because they are what they are, it would be a pretty crazy to read even in a bare bones like script format, let alone trying to have a novelization of like some of the final battle scenes and like, Endgame and that kind of stuff. Like that would be pretty wild. Sometimes thriller writers should do like military thrillers, who like can have like big sort of scenes at the end. I've read some of those that are good, but I've read some of those that are bad, and that really like left me going, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to skip ahead until the battle's over, and then pick up the story later. So it's an interesting proposition, doing it that way. What about you? What about Sarah and Kyla? Do you prefer to write sort of claustrophobic intimate scenes, or do you like taking that wide angle view with your prose sometimes? Sarah, and you look like you've got something to say up there.
I do enjoy the intimate scenes. I
wasn't speaking necessarily that way, but I mean, but that way too. Obviously, obviously those are. Yeah,
I know what you mean. The one-on-one, but I do have some battle scenes in my Hamani series, so I understand, Derek, what you're talking about. When you have multiple things happening at once and trying to the choreography.
Yeah.
And now with writing book 3, I literally took out a legal pad and had to draw out an area. So this person's coming in from this person, do you know what I mean? And do the choreography for it, and then go, okay, because I could see it in my head, but sometimes unless you write it, so I guess I'm a plancer.
Plancer. Yeah.
Plancer. Yeah. So, but to write it down, and then and then I have sketty sessions with, like, I had a sketty session with Tara on it, and I was like, okay, so how would this work, or how would this work for this person coming in? Also, I will call on friends. I have a friend in the military who I called up, and I was like, hey, if I needed, to get somebody out of a black ops site, how would I do that? So, it's type of thing.
Research.
Oh yeah.
So you do what you got to do, and I will say they are harder for me to write, the battle scenes. I do prefer the more one-on-one. I like the one-liners with the dialogue one-on-one type of thing. That's where I am more comfortable. But I will write a battle. So
nice. How about you, Kyla?
So for me, my action scenes are usually fire scenes where there's a coordination of who's pulling hose, who's hooking up to, the truck, who's hooking up to the hydrant, who's on a ladder. It's the action is more about the movement at a fire. Most of my fight scenes are one-on-one, and it's usually the female character. The female main character is usually the one in the fight. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but let's just say my girls are not soft. They're pretty
No, they
tough.
are not.
And they really give both sass with the zinging one-liners like Sarah was talking about, but they also absolutely fight as hard as they can, and so there's the actual fight scenes in my books are just usually the one-on-ones with my female main characters. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think when it comes down to the end, that's going to be, I work for the military, so I have like an entire division of people that I can go talk to at any moment, and part of my division is police, and then I have the chief of the volunteer fire department works in my division as well. So I have got a maid in the shade. I'm married to a retired firefighter. I have got it. I've got my whole crew of specialists, I guess you could say, that can give me all the advice in the world. But I am very much a pantser when it comes to writing the scenes. But I have been known to make my husband come at me, or a friend, or someone, so that I can get a feel for how that feels, because I'm 5'2". I'm, a short stack. I need to know what it's going to feel like for the female character. Is she going to feel, is it going to be an over-the-top thing? So I really do kind of do a little acting out. I think it's just the role play is a lot of fun anyway. Just to feel how the movement's gonna translate. So that sounded really naughty, and I didn't mean it to, but you know what I mean.
I mean, hey, we all, either read or write romance on here. All good, all good. And it's one of those where we do rely on our resources. And, Derek did something, that we like to promote on this show is if you are writing a book and, feel like you want some help with, how something like that might happen, I imagine if you message Kyla, she will be able to maybe track down, either know the answer or track it down for you. That's something, we really like to promote on here is because, that's the great thing. Like, like Sarah was talking about BookTalk, it can help you get your book written in all sorts of different ways. And that is another one, where if you feel like you want some, expertise on stuff, if you're writing spy fiction, I've done a lot of research, but I also know a guy who is in several different areas of the agency. So, I might be able to, in general, get some questions answered for you. So, feel free to let us all know what help you might need, because, that's something that we all want to do. And, that's true of the entire writing community. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are very few spaces on the internet where writers really come together and help each other out and form a community like they do on TikTok. Twitter felt like it was going to get that way for a while, but it got pretty toxic over there. And I think, TikTok is still very much a safe place, where people can connect and have fun. And I think it's going to be here. I don't think it's going away. We don't have to talk about that if you don't want to. But I'm becoming less and less worried about all of that stuff. Now, Derek, I assume you do not have yourself a pet dinosaur that you can ask questions about how all that kind of stuff might work, or but a serious question, do you have somebody who works in the field of genetics that you go to whenever you're talking about, splicing genes and combining these different types of creatures together?
My sci-fi isn't necessarily hard sci-fi, it's more the soft sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically saying to someone, there's a guy that can transform into a big giant green rage monster, right?
Yeah,
and we kind of get that,
Yeah.
For me, though, actually, I do have a bearded dragon as a pet. So when it came to...
Baby dinosaur.
Yeah. She's about... she just came out of hibernation. But she was actually some inspiration for one of the dinosaur characters in Dino Rift. Because usually, most of the time, she's looking at me like I'm just a big giant idiot. And I kind of put that into... There's a crocodilian type dinosaur called a Nundasuchus. Basically, it's like an alligator with dog length arms and legs, so it can actually run pretty fast if it wants to.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But definitely don't get into this is how this gene combines with that gene and all that crazy stuff. Like, I've read Michael Crichton, he's one of my favorite authors.
Right. That's
but
what I was
there's
about to say.
sections of his books where I'm just going, this is going woo right over my head, and I'm just gonna skip ahead to when the story picks up again.
Yeah. Yep. No, I definitely Michael Crichton books are not super easy to get through, and in the thriller world, Tom Clancy can be like that sometimes too. When he's describing how to build a nuclear bomb in The Sum of All Fears, there were definitely parts where I'm going to read this and just know that I don't have to understand all of it in order to get the story. But for people, or like, The Hunt for Red October, he got so detailed into how those subs were built that the U.S. government kind of was like, hey, so did somebody leak you documents and schematics? Do we need to? No, they were thinking about launching an investigation into, so it's like, but he was just all open source research. He was just a straight up military nerd who, made $1 bajillion and wrote, 40 bestsellers. But the research was a part of it because, for that subgenre, people wanted all that detail. But I think that, for your stories, most people would not read or be able to really ingest all of the science. So I suspend my disbelief. I enjoy it because I was a journalist for a long time where, you had to get things right. You had to confirm everything. It was very nonfiction. So whenever I read fiction, I enjoy suspending my disbelief a little bit, and stuff that's crazy over the top that I know couldn't really happen. I enjoy reading that kind of stuff. I don't write it so well because, like I said, I was a reporter for a long time, so my natural instincts are to try to get things super realistic, exactly how they might happen. Although with my last novel, Divided States, the one that's actually been doing the best, it was speculative. Now, it's very well researched, and a lot of people gave me a lot of credit for all that research. But I mean, I definitely like stuff that's never really going to happen. It was out there, and I found it freeing. So, like I said, I envy people like you who can write just completely fantastical stuff and do a great job at it. And that's just, what you write naturally. I absolutely love hearing about that. So it's a little early for this, but our comment section has been doing awesome. And we've got, 14,000 likes. Thank you all so much. So many gifts. But Tanya knows you all better than I do. So since she can get on here and grill you, I like to have her ask her burning questions because she's intimately familiar on your projects and stuff like that. Yeah. And and I'm finding this with the panelists. We have fun when I'm asking my basic, talk showy questions, and then we get down to the person who really knows you, and the panelists are all, "Oh, what am I about to have to answer? Let's do this." So Tanya, take it away. She's not as scary as they're making it out, folks. I promise.
As long as I don't have to answer any questions with a Kermit voice.
Oh man, why did you say that? I was going to let y'all know that he does an amazing Kermit imitation, and I was going to have him do that for y'all.
I got the puppet in my other room. If you
Go
want.
get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I was going to say, at this point, he wants to do it because he would not have brought up a Kermit puppet because he knows we would have we would have begged him to get. So while he's gone, let's who's next on you?
I will move on to Kyla. She is my favorite ride or die. And I just know that the day that she and I end up at the same party at the same time, it's going to be a ball. We're going to have a blast. And I know that we're going to be high-fiving each other in the cell while we're sitting there going, "That was awesome!
Let's do it again!"
Right? Just recently, she went to a convention down in Florida, and I was wanting her to talk a little bit about that convention, if you would.
I wasn't able to go, Tanya.
Oh,
I have a
weren't you?
kidney stone. No, I have a kidney stone. And I went into sort of a dire situation, and I was advised by my doctor not to travel 2 days before I was due to leave.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
so
That's why
I
you
tuned
ended up in the
virtually.
hospital.
Yes,
Okay.
so I tuned in virtually, so they let me attend the pajama party in my PJs and my tiara from home. It was great. But yeah, they kept me, they took pictures and sent them to me the whole time, and they got me a tiara with, okay, so this is a little on the risque, but they were putting all the new authors into what they were calling the cherry pit. In the signing, and they made me a cherry tiara so that I could wear my cherries on my head all day long. So that's the kind of wonderful assholes that I am friends with. So
that's a line of dialogue going in a future work of mine. These are the kind of wonderful assholes that I'm friends with. Got it.
Were you going to be going to any other events this year?
So that's my now. Because of this little switch up, as soon as this whole kidney stone thing passes, and if I pause or leave, that's
that's understandable.
Yeah, but I am looking to attend at least one event this year. I really, really want to go to an event in the southeastern part of the United States somewhere, and meet some of my favorite authors, because I've only been doing this for a year. So for me, I'm still fangirling over all of my favorites, right? And they're still amazing to me. So I really want to go. If I have a table, great. If I don't have a table, then fine. I would love to have a table, obviously. But yeah, so I am looking. So if anyone can suggest
Simple
something.
Signings. You got to come to Simple Signings.
When is it?
It is September 15th, 16th, 17th time frame, and it is in Roanoke, Virginia.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And you're going to be there, aren't you?
Yes,
You and I are going to be in so much trouble.
we are. You've got to come now.
So, okay, I will plan for. Can you send me a message so I can go to
Absolutely.
the
Yeah,
interest page? Yeah, because that would be too much fun. That would be
it is. It's going to be a
lethal fun.
blast.
Yeah.
You need to come now. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I'll send you that. I'll be right on top of that after all of this.
Okay.
Now, Derek, let's do the Kermit thingy.
Why are there so many songs about
That's so good.
rainbows? What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, not only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide.
Oh, that is so good. Holy cow. Whoa.
I'll
That's
do the
great.
voice when I drive into drive-throughs sometimes,
Oh,
just to see what the reactions will be. One girl was like, "Yeah, I'm having a crap day. I don't even care." And then another lady was just like, "Oh my god, that is awesome." I'd just
And I,
show up and be like, "Can I get a hamburger with some flies? I mean fries, please."
Oh, that's great. You need to do you film yourself when you do that and post on TikTok because you'll
I do
get
have a couple videos
200,000
on
million
my.
views. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They
That's
didn't get that many
incredible.
views. No.
read an excerpt from your book as Kermit, and
There you go.
I'm telling you, there will be so many people there for that.
I think I
Oh
did
yeah.
a little while back though.
yeah,
I
you
gotta start
Yeah,
did.
again.
But
oh
do it
my
again
goodness.
because we
Yeah,
love it.
That
yeah.
was
Yeah.
great.
I was actually on an
Oh
interview
wow.
last night, and I was saying it'd be really funny if the villain from my book was read with the Kermit voice.
Oh, it would.
Because there's
It
like an
would.
iconic line in one of the chapters where he's throwing the two kids and another character through the time rift, and he comes up to the last person. He goes,
Before I forget, watch out for the bugs.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my
"No,
god.
it's
Yeah,
a useless talent."
I was so lucky to be able to witness that one time, and it's stuck with me ever since. So that's my favorite part of you is that Kermit thing. But which out of all of your books, which is your favorite character?
Oh, you're gonna make me choose from my children?
Yes, I am.
She does that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, there you go.
Honestly, I would have to say my most fun writing a character had to be in Sorcore Salvation, Frodo the Dodo Bird.
All right. Yes. Okay.
And it's Frodo with a PH, because Frodo with the F is trademark, copyright, whatever. Um, I had to actually have the character in Sorcore Salvation as he was naming the Dodo Bird saying, and PH because trademark.
Nice.
Now,
Very nice.
do you have different voices that you make in your head when you're writing them?
I do, yeah. Even when it comes to the Tiger Shark character, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have that character that becomes the Tiger Shark says, "I feel like I kind of sound like Liam Neeson now," with the gruff,
Yeah,
not the accent, but just the gruff part.
the gruff. Yeah,
So
the
because I
the
kind of
smoking
figured if
10 packs a day. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, even between Devin and Brett in the Superhero Spy series, I do have I like to kind of take images of actors that I feel like would fit the character. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I think some authors do that for their Pinterest boards and stuff like that. So at least I can also hear the actor's voice in my head, sort of, as I go. Which I can't imitate many actors. I mean, I can kind of do a walk-in, but it's still horrible. No, Kermit's my go-to. Also Stitch from Disney's Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, I didn't know you did Stitch too.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody that's left behind or forgotten. Bye.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good. Oh,
oh
that's
my
good.
God, you nailed that.
I had my tonsils taken out when I was a kid, which I think helps.
Oh my gosh, that's great. You really need to make more of your TikToks like that so we can all
I should.
buy
I'll
books
have to
for it.
plan that.
Maybe you should narrate your books too with the different voices.
You know what? I would love to. I mean, Dino Rift and Sorcore, I do have a narrator for those two.
Uh-huh.
But the Superhero Spy series, I wish I could. I just don't have the setup, and I cannot do a Russian accent to save my life.
Okay.
So I can say vodka. That's about it.
Okay,
See,
Saren. Oh, go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you did the Stitch, and now people down in the comments
More
are,
Stitch.
yeah,
More Stitch.
they're asking for it. So congratulations on opening that door in
Okay.
addition to your
All
Kermit
right.
door.
Kermit.
We won't, you don't have to do it now. Like we'll let Tanya get back to it. I just wanted to let you know that you messed up, letting us know how well you do that Stitch voice also. So
No. I'll accept it.
Saren, which of your characters is your like favorite child?
Lily, 100%.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you there.
I said Lily. Lily's
Okay.
100% my favorite character, and she's actually the main character for book 3 that I'm
Now, why
writing.
is she your favorite one out of all of them?
I'm sorry.
Why is she your favorite one out of all of them?
Lily's got a strength about her. She's a heart of gold wrapped in steel,
Okay.
and she gets things done, and she doesn't. She figures things out for herself. She doesn't let circumstances around her invade her perception of people.
Hmm.
She's the type of person that, no, I need to find this out for myself, and I just love her strength of character. I just love the character herself. She's pretty amazing, and so yeah. So
Now, yeah, I'm not really surprised that you picked Lily because I see a certain person reflected in Lily. Did you like look in the mirror while you were writing Lily?
that's a good compliment. Thank you, but no. I like really, honestly, there's just something about her. She had to round this up, this series. Like, she had to be my girl.
She
So
was your twin, so it was probably really easy to write, huh?
Stacey busted. Thanks, Stacey.
What was your hardest book to write?
Sarah's Rising, 100%.
What was it about it that made it so difficult for you to write?
I wrote Sarah's Rising under a pen name, Poppy Agnello. It is a healing journey, and it is about a woman who was severely abused as a child, and her journey to free herself, set her boundaries, and pick her chosen family, and what it takes to go from absolute hell, if I can say that up here,
Yeah, you can say that.
to personal freedom and a continuation, because it is a lifetime journey. But yeah, that was the hardest book to write. It's a lot, and it's rip the Band-Aid off, see the wound, watch it fester, and then watch it heal. It's a quick read, but it's helped a lot of people, and that's my baby. That's my absolute baby.
Yeah, and that's the one that I've heard the most of, as it being like a cathartic read for people, and it helped them get past certain steps that they were having problems getting past. So I really appreciate the fact that you wrote that book, and it helps enforce the idea that, yeah, blood may be thicker than water, but your family is the one that stays around you and supports you. And we can choose our family if we need to. So I really, really do appreciate you writing that book for everybody. Okay, Rick, back to you.
Yeah. So tell us the name of that book again that you were just talking about. Some of the folks joining us late loved hearing about it, but they didn't catch the title.
It's Sarah's Rising, and it's by Coffee Agnello, Coffeyagnello, which actually means victorious lamb. The link is in my thingy, so if they want to check it out, it's there. So
yeah, and we'll go over at the end where people can find your books and your other stuff online. But yeah, obviously we probably all have our websites in our bios. So for those who can't stay around to the end, that's where you can go ahead and find all the stuff we write. And we are coming up on the top of the hour, so I can just kind of do a little reset for some of our new viewers. This is Book Talk on Book Talk, where we talk about books and all the stuff that goes along with it. Audiobooks, covers, the business, the marketing, and just being creative, adaptations, anything in that area. And then we have some people on here who promise that things are going to get shenanigan-like. So in the second hour, we might just let Kyla stir the pot a little bit. If you the more people we have watching, the more fun it gets, and the more that these creators who we're trying to spotlight get exposure. So liking this this live really helps. Believe it or not, the more gifts that you send, the more TikTok likes and promotes. So if you are someone who likes to give gifts during lives, we appreciate that, and of course, we appreciate what's essentially a tip for us. So all that stuff, and sharing, if you hit the share button, if you think other people will enjoy it, that gets in more viewers, and all that stuff just really helps the people that we bring on our panel, get them more exposure, because that's what we're looking for a lot of times. And I know one of you mentioned that you had a book that was coming out this weekend. We want to help promote those people, because as we will probably talk about during the second hour, book marketing is freaking hard. And so if we can make it easier on these folks, we would love it. And if you are in the gift giving mood, Tanya, Celtic Blue to you, she is our executive producer. This show does not exist without her. I am not live on TikTok without her. So if you only have one gift to give, consider giving it to her, because she absolutely deserves it as much as anybody on this planet. With all that said, I'm actually going to ask you a question, Tanya, because you turned me on to the Fem Narrator Takeover. And since we don't have a narrator on the panel today, why don't you go ahead and tell us what that is, what you know about it, and how people can get involved? Because I know you were able to get me involved. Danielle Muthing is going to be reading an excerpt from my book, Divided States. But how can other people, get their stuff out there for this Fem Narrator Takeover?
There are a bunch of really strong feminine voices out there that are narrators that will be taking 500-word blurbs from different books and reading them on the 25th of April. And it is an amazing event where we get to hear all of them be able to read with as much passion and strength as they can possibly give to these pieces of art that the authors have been so kind as to give to them. And the last time, there were so many samples of just, your skin would just tingle with some of the readings. So if you know of a strong female narrator who is going to be participating in this, and you are an author, get in touch with them. Let them know about it, or if they do know about it, hand over some of your work so that they can represent your strong female characters that are in your books. And I know Kyla has a ton of them in her books, so I expect something from Kyla.
I actually have already spoken with a narrator today, and she was like, yep, send me your submission, give me
Great.
background details on your character, the little character sheet, so I have an idea, and, the cover for the book that the excerpt is coming from. So, yeah, that's very exciting, because I've been thinking strongly about going to audiobooks with my books. I've been asked several times, and So this is an exciting thing to actually hear someone else read my book aloud. I'm just like, oh,
It's a
I'm
cool
so
feeling.
giddy over all of this, though. Every step of this process has been, I'm just like a little kid in a candy store with all of it. So
And it's an absolute joy to watch you be so giddy about it. It's like, let me go for the journey with you.
I am a child in a grown woman's body that is just thrilled with the whole idea of being able to bring stories to people. That is just because when I was a little kid, I was always, and my parents were constantly telling me to shh. Now I don't have to shh, and I can just tell everybody.
I think a
And
lot of us in the creative arts are that way. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead, Tanya.
there was a comment down in the chat where they were talking about Book Talk on Book Talk was how they found their narrator. And that is exactly why we have this platform, so everybody can connect and everybody can support everybody. And there are some amazing authors meeting up with some amazing narrators and book cover artists, and everything's coming together so beautifully. And I enjoy every one of you, and I thank you for being so willing to be part of the tide that raises every ship out there. So thank you for that, everybody.
Yes, and I saw that comment too, and I was going to bring that up too. And it looks like the narrator is PJ is the narrator. That is that's you got a good one. That's great. We are so
Yeah.
glad that happened. And whatever you were saying, Kyla, about you feel like you're a kid in a grown person's body. Like I think a lot of people who are in the creative arts, like that is one of the appeals, is that we get to do things that we've been doing since we were kids, and now we may not get paid $1 million for it, but we're making a little income from it, and we get to share it with people who don't share a name or DNA with us, like not just our family, like the wider world. And like every time, even though I know my sales numbers and I know that people who I don't know personally have read my book, every time someone who I don't know comes up to me and or leaves a review, I'm just like, oh, that's right, the general public can read my stuff and comment on it and enjoy it. And it's like, it sounds like such a stupid thing because I've been doing this for like 4 years now. But yeah, every time that happens, I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Somebody I don't know decided that they wanted to read my book and they got enjoyment out of it. It really is an incredible feeling. And like I said, I think that, like creative people and athletes, that's something that they share is they're doing things that they've been doing since they were a kid, and they found a way to make it a part of their adult life. And so many people don't get to do that. And because I get to do it during my day job and on my side hustle stuff, I feel really blessed that, this is what I do for a living. Is I work with other creative people. I edit, I write, I, do stuff like this. It's definitely very, very cool. So I wanted to ask, how many of the authors on the panel have books that are out in audiobook? I know, Derek, you said that you had Saren or Kyla, either one of you, have you gotten any of your books produced?
No, not yet.
No.
Well, I know that there are voice actors in the audience, so let's see if we can make more magic happen. Like what happened with PJ and Bookspike. I don't know. I have no idea how to pronounce what.
Tara Tappan, yeah, Tara.
Okay, there we go. I'm glad you on this. So that's excellent. So Saren, what were you about to say? I apologize for cutting you off.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, I haven't delved into the audio book just yet, but I have participated in the Femme Narrator takeover from before, and I've actually had a couple of them reach out to me just in the last 24 hours. So I enjoy that. It's really it's surreal hearing your words like that. So, but yeah, I know it was something I'll probably eventually do, but right now I just want to finish writing the series before I go in there. So.
My debut was out as an audiobook, and it was through a publisher, and actually that publisher farmed it out to an audiobook publisher. There were two publishers involved, and it didn't work out so great. I don't think anybody was super duper pleased with it, although it got good buzz. It was in like the Hollywood Reporter and stuff. So I mean, but in terms of the reviews were not spectacular. If I do it again, it would be, with more something, one of the narrators I know in here. And I am so excited that, 500 of my words, or almost 500, are going to be on the Spell Narrator Takeover, because it'll be the first time that any part of the Divided States has been performed in any capacity. So I'm going to be getting that super. I'm going to be getting that super magical feeling, and Tanya is to thank for that, because she sent me Danielle's video saying, "Hey, I'm taking applications for the FM Narrator Takeover." She's like, "Can you please have her do something from Divided States?" And I was like, "Well, obviously, yes, I will. Definitely do that." So yeah, like I'm going to be like a little kid waiting for that to happen. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it too. The minute I saw that, I was like, Divided States has to be Divided States. But we did have a little bit of an argument as to which part of Divided States.
Yeah, and I have to apologize. I told her, you pick which ones, and then she said, "How about this or this?" And I read them, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that's right. This is actually my book. I actually wrote these words." And so I cared a little more than I thought I would, to be real honest. And so I thought, okay, let me think about the story, and I came up with a compromise. I chose a different chapter, but Tanya chose which section of that chapter is going to get written. So, but collaboration is what it's all about when it comes to any kind of performance art, whether it's audio book, narration, or if you're making a film or play or whatever it is. So I appreciate Tanya not getting too cross with me for kind of backsliding after I said, "You choose which one." And I was like, "Oh, but I wrote the book, so I think I'm going to." So that was definitely not great on my part, but I still think it's going to be an excellent. I think the part she's going to read is going to be really excellent and really appeal to the Fem Narrator fan base and audience out there.
And I believe that Paige is going to be a part of that as well. Am I correct, Paige?
Oh yeah, she was down in the comments. I'll invite her, and she can come on and talk about it. Yeah, because we don't always have it on the board. We don't always have enough room, but we do today. We actually have an open spot, because we're only allowed 6, I think, unless that's changed. So I sent her an invite, and we'll see if she's able to come on. I'm not always assuming somebody's camera ready or in their booth whenever they're watching these, but it looks like she's trying to connect. So that's
yay, Paige.
Oh, I love that avatar page, by the way. That is excellent.
Well, Paige is neither camera ready nor in her booth, so we're just going to leave the brand new avatar.
No, hey, that works. That works.
Thank you. Yeah, PJ and I just got our branding for our duet narration, and this is mine. And there's a whole big, it's in my stories right now, the whole thing, but yeah, we're very, very happy with them.
I wonder if my audiobook narrator knows about that.
Reach out to them. Tell them. The more the merrier.
So anyway, this is the first I'm hearing. So Paige, are you Tanya? I wasn't sure. Is she just one of the champions for the Fem Narrator Takeover, or did you say she was going to be involved specifically?
I think she's going to be involved specifically, because she usually is, but I didn't want to say absolutely without her saying yes or no.
Well, so it started in Ruthie Bowles, Allie Danes, and my group chat that we have on Discord, and I don't remember. It was right when all the Verba stuff was coming out, and we were like, let's do something to celebrate fem narrators. And then kind of Ruthie kind of took hold of the reins and was like, here's how we do it, organizational brilliant mind that she is. And so now we've tried to do that. And then, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the first one happened on July 7th. And then the second one happened in September. There was kind of a mini one in November, but it was, I don't know, so busy for everybody.
Awesome.
And then we haven't done one since then. So yeah, it's basically to appreciate fem narrators, because mask narrators get so much love, especially on BookTalk. And it's we are actually at a physiological disadvantage. So we should get more appreciation for this. But yeah, just to celebrate fem narrators and also indie authors, because, it's free promotion and marketing for all of us, right? And the more people who participate, the more books are out there, the more narrators are out there, and you get just one-on-one time, and you see people you've never heard and books you've never read. It's just uplifting for everybody. So
real quick, can everybody but Sarah here Paige, because Saren said she couldn't hear, but I could definitely hear Paige. Can Derek and
I
Kyla
could hear.
I just see a block that says request, and there's nothing up.
I just see it loading.
Really?
Yeah.
We might have to have you step out and come back in then, both of you that are having problems.
Okay.
Or I mean, I can pop back out.
No, you're fine, Paige.
Yeah, and it looks like the people that are in the comments can basically hear. So I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe if y'all.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, we're gonna see. And so, Derek, you said that you're not able to. You can't even see her avatar that we were talking about.
No.
Okay. Yeah, step out and come back in then, Derek.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that works.
I cause all the problems.
Yeah, right. No. And I knew people in the comments could hear you because we had several who were like, "Oh my God, I love her voice," and it's like, yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens whenever Paige gets on the mic. That's for sure.
Let's see if we can get Saren back in here.
How do I leave from here?
That I'm not sure. I know how to turn off the whole live, but I've never stepped out and stepped back into a live, so I'm not entirely sure. Huh? I see. So yeah, now all I see is Saren trying to load. So
yeah, that's all I see too.
Maybe she was having some internet problems, and maybe that was part of what was going on with her. And we hope that's not the case, but TikTok does what it wants sometimes. We had a couple weeks there where every once in a while it would just go away and everyone would be kicked out, for like no apparent reason. So we're gonna hope that that is not what's going on. I just invited Derek to come back, so we'll see if he's able to do that, and hopefully they don't just sit there spinning the whole time. That would be unfortunate. Yeah, and so looks like the connection timed out for Saren, huh? It's technology is what it is, but we'll continue on. So Paige, do you have people currently lined up that you're going to read, or are you still taking applications for that?
The answer to both is yes.
There you go. All right.
Yes, I think I have 7 or 8 right now. I will probably top out at around 15 just because it does take a lot of prep and then time to record, etc. And we'll see. It's just been rough. Trying to record has been rough. So.
Yeah, that feels like a lot, but I suppose if you get them all pre-recorded, you can just kind of, post them all right in a row on the day. Is that kind of how that works? Yeah.
It's definitely, I try and space them out because, the Clock app likes to throttle views. So I try and space it out every 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on how many I have. Obviously, if I've got 15, I can't do that. But just try and space them out. I think at one point the Fem Narrator tag got like a shadow ban, but if you still click on it, you can see all of it, but it stopped feeding it to the FYP. But the goal is to have enough things seen. Like I started a collection in my profile that's public of all my previous Fem Narrator videos so people can kind of see what's up. So.
Gotcha. And so, Kyla, I saw your message. Do you want us to go ahead and let you, before your phone dies, tell us where people can go to find you online and where to buy your books and what you got coming out, in the near future?
I'm everywhere. It's KylaOrenek.com. Easy peasy. Well, it is for me. Nobody ever says my name correctly. And then you can find me, my link in my bio that takes you to my link tree, and all of my socials are there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have a regular Facebook account, which is where I usually park my happy little butt. And then I have an author account and forget about it all the time. And then I have, of course, my TikTok here. And there is random that will happen on my TikToks. I just do whatever I want. I don't have a playbook, and I don't have rules that I follow ever. So TikTok suppresses me too, because I'm just random, and whatever shenanigans happen. So, but yeah, it was a real pleasure and a joy to be here. You have no idea how excited I am to be able to celebrate my 1-year write-anniversary in such a great place. So
happy anniversary. Happy write-anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I wanted to tell you look amazing in that dress, Kyla. It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
You're
That
Thank
welcome.
color
you.
is fantastic on you.
It is.
Yeah, my husband has chosen this as my author color. I was like, babe, there's no such thing. He's like, yes, there is. There is now. So this is
That's
my
cute.
color now.
Saren is in the chat and Derek is in the chat, so they
Yeah,
can.
I've been inviting them, and they've been requesting, and I don't know, there's something's not working, and I apologize to Derek and Sarah, and I don't know what's going on.
Let
I
me
don't know if
drop.
there's anything. Yeah. So
That might
maybe
help.
yeah. It shouldn't be a bandwidth thing. We've definitely had 6 people on here before, but thank you, Kyla, and we are so glad that you came on with us and had some stuff to celebrate. Um, and I imagine Tanya is going to invite you back on the show as soon as she can, both to
Oh,
make up for the
absolutely.
fact that you couldn't be here the whole time because of your phone, but also because you made everything super fun and lively, and we really enjoyed it. So
Thank
let's
you
see.
so much.
All right, and so yeah, we'll keep trying to get Derek and Saren back in. But in the meantime, I'm very glad, Paige, that we were able to talk more about the Fem Narrator takeover, because that's another thing that you know that Book Talk has been really great about. I'm interested. Did you hear why there was a shadow ban on that hashtag or whatever? Because that seems pretty arbitrary. Like, is it because it sounds scary, or did you ever get an explanation?
No. They just sometimes shadow ban things. I think it's specifically because they don't want people, unless it's like sponsored, to be going viral unless they decide that. So when people start using too many hashtags, I think they just kind of throttle it. Oh no, we
Oh.
lost Tanya now too.
She goes in and out and she switches profiles. Like I've gotten used to that. It's usually not anything that's going on specifically, but I don't know if we're going to get the other 2 back. So I never want to cut anything short. We have 27,000 likes though, so we have a really good audience going. I think we're going to keep trying them for a little while, and we'll see if Tanya comes back. But in the meantime. And so, yeah, Saren says she can see her, but yeah, it's one of those where, kind of like they were seeing with Paige, TikTok just said you were disconnected by the host. Well, I promise you that I did not actually disconnect you. And if this were earlier in the show, I may end it and then start over. But kind of an hour and 20 minutes in, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what to do. So I'll keep talking, and I'll tell you what I'll do right now is I'll let Paige talk for a minute. And why don't you just tell us about, other than Fem Narrator Takeover, since you are now the only guest I have on currently, what other projects are you working on?
Lord, I was about to say, maybe I'm the common denominator and why they're having a problem, and I should hop off and they can come back on since it was their live. Like, I did not mean to interrupt their live, their time.
You know what? Okay, let's try that. Let's try, thank you so much for plugging the Fem Narrator page. Why don't you drop off, and then I'll invite Tanya and other people back, and we'll see if that helps. And if that does, then that's going to be a weird technological mystery. But yeah, let's go ahead and try that. Let's go ahead and try that.
Okay.
So we'll let Paige log off. And all right. So I hate whenever my face is so big. Let me try to invite Tanya. All right, so I've invited Tanya, and I'll try to invite the rest. Okay, there you two are. So we'll see. So it looks like Tanya. So Tanya was able to come back, but we'll see if the other 2 are. And if they're not, then it must be something wrong with my live, and we'll just have to end it a little early. Not that I want to. Yeah. Boy, there are a couple of people down in the comments who say that TikTok has just been acting stupid lately. And as much as they've been updating, because they've been rolling out all kinds of new stuff. There's all the, the shops and the sponsor stuff. There's that series where you can record long form YouTube style videos and put them on. So Derek said he closed the app and opened it up and just kind of like tried to reset and see if that's going to help. I'm getting the feeling it's
I'm thinking it's TikTok because I've already been kicked out like 8 times today. So,
all right.
if these two are willing to, I would be more than happy to reschedule them again to have them come up on the show. So,
all right. So I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So yeah,
Saren, if you can hear me, and Derek, if you can hear me, we would love to have you both come back on so that we can get a full show with you. I don't know why TikTok is doing what it's doing today, and I'm very upset that it took out your show, because I know you both had some very important things to say on the show. Would that be okay?
Yeah, and we'll give them a second to respond down in the comments. And yeah, I feel bad. Like, we've never had TikTok not allow people to come back in after they kick them out, but we're at the mercy of the platform. So I don't want to end on a negative note, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just for all of our panelists, if you can find them down in the comments real quick, go follow them. And there's Derek. He's saying it's about time for bed anyway. And we did get most of the show in, but follow them and we'll get them back on, as quick as we can. Thank you for coming on, Saren, and we're sorry that the technology did not work. But Tanya's gonna, take care of you like she does everyone on the planet, it seems like, and we'll get you back on. If you do a video to promote the stuff that you are working on, message it to me, message it to Tanya. We will repost and we will share. And we will do all of that stuff to help make up for the fact that we're having to cut off early tonight. But we got 28,000 likes. So, I mean, we had an outstanding audience, outstanding panel. Thank you. And, I see, Kylie, you're on somebody else's bucket profile. So thank you also for coming on. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate everyone in the audience. We appreciate all the gifts. I know that those were coming in hot there for a while. Paige, I don't think you broke it. I think that TikTok just decided that, 90 minutes was enough. I even got that little message saying I've been on there for 90 minutes and I should take a break. He gives it to me every time, but maybe this time they're going to start actually doing something about it. But thank you, everyone. And thank you, as always, Tanya. We'll get everything worked out. Hopefully next time, TikTok decides it wants to behave. I'll give everyone another minute to go find our people down there in the comments. Go like them, go follow them. And then I suppose I should go ahead. I'll hold this pen one more time, since technically, it's said that they're now a sponsor since I have them in my shop. Multitasky is the name of the company, and it's actually run by women. It has a very strong female empowerment message, which I'm sure that you can read about on their profile. And if you need a pen and want to give me a commission, there's a little shop button down there at the bottom. So that's there. Not that I'm pushing and not that I'm expecting to make a lot of money off of it, but hey, I think TikTok likes it whenever we help out their shop stuff. So I know that definitely helped us get a pretty big audience tonight. So and what writer doesn't need pens, right? So that's there. I think I'm gonna stop rambling and wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for all of the likes, for all of the gifts, and for tuning in. We'll be here, same place next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central, on this profile, BookTalk on BookTalk. And, we'll be looking forward to TikTok getting their stuff together and letting us go for a full show. But thanks, everyone. Tanya, as always, thank you. Do you have anything else you would like to add before I end this thing?
Yes, I was just going to say that every single one of these people did have their link trees and their websites listed on the announcement. If you want to find them, go ahead and go to that announcement, copy down their links, look at all their books. They have all been very fabulous authors, and all of them are very worthy of going and picking up one of their books. So please, give them some support. They're wonderful people, and they're great fun to have around. And I am already rescheduling people as we speak, so I'm hoping to have them back really soon. But thank you to the guests, and thank you to the chat audience. Everybody was fantastic today. Thank you so much.
I couldn't agree more. Great show, everybody. Thank you so much. And We will see you all next week for Book Talk on Book Talk. Have a great evening.